Hey there, and welcome. Today, we're going to dive into something pretty cool, the hidden patterns of the words you and I use every single day. We're about to uncover a powerful science that reveals the secret life of language, and trust me, it's going to show us some things that totally defy our own intuition.
So let me just ask you this straight up. How well do you think you really know your own language? I mean, you use it all day, every day. But do you know how it actually works under the hood? Let's find out.
All right, to get us started, let's try a little language puzzle. Don't worry, there are no right or wrong answers here. This is all about your gut feeling, your intuition as someone who speaks the language. Okay, I'm about to pop a list of words on the screen. As you look at them, just ask yourself one simple question. Do I usually hear this word said out loud, or do I usually see it written down in a book or an email? Okay, here they are. Very, really, exactly, quite, completely, to, and thoroughly. They all kind of do the same job, right? They ramp things up. So what's your gut tell you? Maybe really feels super conversational, something you'd say to a friend, and maybe thoroughly feels a bit more buttoned up, more formal, more written. Just go with your first instinct. Got your ideas? Awesome. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Let's see what happens when we stop guessing and start measuring. Let's look at what the cold, hard data actually tells us. And here's the thing about language. Our intuition is often a really good guide. We have this amazing built-in sense for what sounds right. But, and this is a big but, it can also totally lead us astray. Sometimes the data reveals patterns that we would just never, ever notice on our own. So boom, here it is. This is data from a massive collection of American English. What you're seeing is how many times each word shows up for every million words we speak versus every million words we write. Your gut was probably right on some of these, but just look at the numbers for very and really. I mean, those differences aren't just small, they're huge. Let's just zoom in on very for a second. The difference is absolutely staggering. It's not even a fair fight. We use it nearly 4 times more often when we're talking than when we're writing. Is that what your intuition told you? For most people, that's a real shocker. So, what's the big takeaway here? Well, it's clear that words like very and really are just overwhelmingly part of our spoken language. And get this, to is actually the most common one from this list in writing. Meanwhile, thoroughly is definitely a writer's word. In fact, for most of these adverbs, we use them at least twice as much when we speak. Our language literally changes depending on whether we're talking or typing. Okay, this is all fascinating, but it begs the question, how in the world do we know all this? Well, let's pull back the curtain and take a look at the actual science that makes these incredible discoveries possible. It's a field called Corpus Linguistics. The idea behind it is actually pretty simple, but it is totally revolutionary. Instead of arguing about what we think language should be, we just look. We study massive, organized collections of real-life language. These are called corpora, to see how people actually use it. It's language science, but powered by big data. And this isn't some brand new idea. Way back in the 19th century, dictionary makers were painstakingly collecting examples on little paper slips. But of course, computers changed the whole game. The first one in 1961 had 1 million words, which seemed huge at the time. Today, we're working with corpora that have billions of words. The scale is just mind-boggling. Now, this is really, really important to get. A corpus can show us what patterns are there in the language. It's descriptive. It tells us what is. What it can't do is tell us what's grammatically correct or incorrect. And it can't explain why these patterns exist. For that why, we still need good old-fashioned human analysis. So the whole approach really boils down to 4 key things. 1, it's empirical. It's based on real-world evidence. 2, it uses a huge, well-organized collection of texts. 3, it leans heavily on computers to sift through all that data and find the patterns. And 4, the crucial final step, it combines all that quantitative data with our qualitative human brains to figure out what it all means. So, looking at single words is cool and all, but the real magic, the real power of this science comes when we see how words team up. Because you see, words almost never live alone. There was this guy, John Sinclair, who was basically a legend in this field. And he had this incredible insight that changed everything. He said that a word doesn't really carry meaning all by itself. Meaning is made in the sequence, in the company that words keep.
This idea is the absolute backbone of the whole field. And this tendency for words to keep company or hang out together, well, it has a name: collocation. It's just the simple, powerful idea that some words have a very high chance of showing up next to certain other words. They're like best friends, partners in creating meaning. And this is probably the best way to see it in action. Think about the word deal. On its own, it's kind of vague, right? But watch what happens when you pair it with its common buddies. A big deal is all about importance. A good deal, now we're talking about a bargain. And a great deal, that's about a large amount of something. Same word, 3 totally different meanings, and it's all decided by its next-door neighbor. Okay, I get it. This might all sound a little academic, but why should you care? Well, it turns out this stuff has a massive impact on our daily lives, probably in ways you haven't even thought about. This science is working behind the scenes all the time. It's what powers the autocorrect on your phone, predicting what word you're going to type next. It's how search engines understand what you're actually looking for. But it also helps us build way better dictionaries based on real usage, design smarter language classes, and finally answer those nagging little questions like, why do we say big toe, but it sounds weird to say large toe? Well, the data shows big loves to hang out with physical things, while large prefers abstract stuff and quantities. See? It's not a rule someone made up. It's just a powerful pattern that data shows us. So I want to leave you with a little something to chew on. Think about all those language rules you were taught back in school. Don't split an infinitive or don't end a sentence with a preposition. After seeing how language really works, how many of those do you think are actual rules? And how many are just patterns that someone, somewhere, decided was the correct way? The real data might just blow your mind.